Ghost Cult Magazine welcomes in Tommy Stewart of Tommy Stewart's Direwolf, the
Yo,
Great
hey,
Hallows Eve, Black Doomba Records, a billion other things. Tommy, how are you, man?
I'm doing pretty good. I'm doing real good, actually. Today was good so
I'm
far.
glad it's not that late. There's a lot of day
So
left.
far.
There's a lot of things that can go right.
I know. That's true. Yeah, that's more like how I like to look at it. I usually start my day with a little bit of coffee, a little bit of meditating, and then start moving straight into I do a few things from the night before for the label first. Then once things are caught up that happened overnight or whatever, I go exercise and then I come back and I'm really into it then I'm really into the label stuff. In the afternoon I switch over and do music stuff, record whatever I'm doing.
That's amazing. I like that.
That's how my day
Get your
goes.
mind right, meditate, something I have trouble doing,
I
and then administrative, and then the creative. I like that flow.
do you, yeah. I got to start it off. I might play one song that inspires me, or it's just a happy silly song I associate, just something. It probably isn't even metal. It's probably Three Little Birds, or it's probably reggae or something. Just
Yo,
something for 3 or 4 minutes to make me feel good.
I mean, Marley has been gone for 40 something years and he's still impacting us all. He was so
Absolutely.
gifted.
That's my working on the yard music and working in the garden music and things like that. Out back, I got music out there. Yeah, I love Marley's awesome. So we're
Yeah.
here, and I like your green because everything Direwolf is green. The
I
album is
know.
green.
We just premiered the single today for you, actually, the new
I know,
single.
that's awesome. Thanks.
So thank you for letting us collab. And we love, like we do a lot of premieres. And it was really cool to get to work on your thing a little bit here as we near the release. By the time this interview is seen, the album will be out already. That is Doomsday Deferred, coming out on your own Black Doomba Records on September 3rd. And killer single, killer record. And yeah, man, you have had a very prolific and productive time despite the state of the world the last few years, and it's just
I
been really
try.
great to kind of observe this work ethic from the outside.
Well, and everybody, there was so many musicians who announced, we're shutting down. We just don't, we're bored and whatever. And I've never had a boring day in my life. I felt like it was a perfect time to be, okay, now I can finish the album. I started recording in 2018. So I holed up, became a hermit, and I did try to get some studio work going again, because in 2019, I produced 6 albums in the 1 year, but 2020 just kind of made everybody stay home. So, and that played into the album, because as I made the album, I started gathering materials for the album, the swag, the posters, and ordering it and all that stuff. But as I made the album, my usual drummer is Dennis Reed. He couldn't come after about 3 songs. I'm so hesitant because it had become time. It was when we were really in alarm time, and it was masking, and everybody's scared, and nobody, you don't know how you can get it, but you don't know how you can't, and you don't know. So we began not even letting people come over unless they walked through a certain part of the house and wore a mask. When they got back here to record, they record way back there where those drums are, if you can see them, and we stayed away from each other. So I ended up with 5 drummers on the album. So a lot of times, so calling this a group became is misnomer the word? Yeah, okay, misnomer, because I meant for it to be a group, but if I can't keep the same guy coming, it's not a group anymore. It's just me with guests.
Yes.
5 drummers. I just went through a thing on my Facebook where each day I showed each drummer and told a little something about them.
That's
It led right up to this release. The last drummer was me. I did one full track by myself.
I was going to say, you play drums also. I know this.
Well, I don't really.
Oh,
but from necessity, I do little parts in places instead of calling people to come back in, little cheap spots and stuff. I can straighten out their snare beat they missed or something like that, But so in this one, there was like 3 tracks not done yet. There was 2 that just simply weren't finished on drums. So and I also did all the percussion on the album, which was a lot of fun. Percussion's fun. you're looking for a certain noise. I even tried to beat on my belly to get a certain hollow sound I was looking for. It wasn't it. And I said, pumpkin. I went and got a pumpkin, and that was the sound. I played a pumpkin.
That's insane.
Yeah, this hollow sound. So it ended up being indiscriminate. Yeah, I learned how to spell indiscriminate. Trepidation.
Yeah, you have some very $10 words on this album in your song titles. You're never shy about your lyrics.
So I came up with the drum part, and I was the fifth drummer. And so I'm excited about this song for this reason, a technical reason. This is the first time I ever played a full drum track by myself. There was no other drum. I'm the drummer. And I was like, holy crap, I really did it. And I'm so proud of myself. So now I have sort of some new ideas for next time. And I'm not so sure I want to full all the time drummer now. I don't know. It's kind of cool to let you know. We're going, there's going to be some touring coming up. So.
All right. Yeah, we'll get into that. I'm excited. I'd love to see hit the road. We all want to get back out there and see shows and go to shows and play shows.
I've got a goal of 100 shows, and I've booked about 20 right now.
All right. Killer.
Going all the way out to March right now.
All right. That's great. I just saw a pretty big band has their dates through next summer, and they are like, this is what we're going. That's it. We're going.
We're
so,
gonna
like, whatever you're ready to do.
We're so mostly it's with, this gets into why I started Black Doomba, but without going into that. So all the shows pretty much are, everybody who's playing at every show is vaxxed. We're doing we're recognizing spacing. We're wearing masks when we're not on stage singing. We're going along with it all. And most of the shows, I think all of them, are in smaller towns, suburbs. We're kind of staying out of the big city. We're not coming to New York. It's hard there. So outside of New York would be fine. We can go play up in, Poughkeepsie or something. But I don't know. But you don't have to stay out of the state. But I'm not going to go play downtown right now.
Yeah, I got you. I totally.
All the bands. I take all the bands with me. I got to give them a little shout out. So.
Oh, haha.
Grave, the lighting
is.
So Grave Next Door.
Yep.
And is playing on almost all the shows.
Oh, nice.
And then Grave Next Door, Grave Huffer, and who else? Dayglow Morning, Minerva, and Holy Roller. These are all Black Doomba bands, and that was part of the point of why I started a label.
Right.
To interact with each other, to support each other on socials, to share each other's socials, not just their own, and to gig swap a lot, and to help each other get out on the road more than they already were. And that's exactly what I'm doing here. That's why they're all Black Doomba bands, is because they're all helping, they're all calling each other up and going, hey, so you guys are going to be in the Carolinas right now. Well, we're playing on the 29th, and we're playing with so-and-so, the other band, on the 20th, and we can fill these dates in the middle, but if you're going to be in Georgia, then you might as well come over here. So there's so that's what I'm encouraging in the label. That was a big reason why I started it.
Amazing. I think my Grave Next Door hat is hanging up on the rack behind me. Big fans of those guys. Big fans of
Patrick Salerno, the drummer, is going to be drumming for Direwolf on some of the shows.
Double duty.
My regular drummer, Dennis Reed, couldn't make it. He's the one that's going to be doing it. So you'll see Tommy Stewart's Direwolf, then you'll see Grave Next Door in the same night a lot. And
Pat is good people, man. We're
going to get a Grave Next Door. Yeah, he came all the way down here. He came all the way to Atlanta and rehearsed with me for about 10 days.
Wow.
And we tried to get it down.
Right on.
he got he's from Michigan, almost to upper Michigan, Sparta, way up there. He got down here, and he said he came back from a bike ride in the morning. It's his usual exercise. He's huffing and sweating, and he goes, what's with all the hills? It's welcome to Georgia. He goes, and the humidity, my God. I said, yeah, it's hot here. It's humid. It's yeah. And this was like in April. And he was about
I've spent many a good time in Georgia, and it is not for the faint of heart at times.
No, it's sort of a 5-month summer. Yeah. And we don't get much snow or anything. So I love it down here. It's my home, but I do not like the heat. I'm a cold person.
There you go. So yeah, man, I want to not lose the moment, and I want to talk about the album a little bit, because I think it definitely stands apart from your previous Direwolf work. It's been building to this for a while. And I love that it just kind of incorporates everything that you are. Obviously you've been on this doom and stoner kick for a long time. There's a psychedelic element that I really draws me in from my childhood even, but it's got kind of the amalgam of everything you are about. Your vocals are really great on this. There's some killer riffs on this, and there's a mood. That's the thing I think I wanted to talk about. There's a mood that goes through this whole album musically and lyrically that I really dig, man. It's like a record for these times in a way for this fall.
I think so. Well, it was made mostly during 2020 when I was in isolation. It's a very isolated, personal album, and I wrote about the things that were happening to me, or for instance, indiscriminate, how do we say this? Indiscriminate trepidation. That comes directly from, I don't live too far from the state capital of Georgia, but right then there were tanks in the streets. There were 2 cars on fire. My daughter, Ariel, happens to live in a high rise right next to it. She could actually see all this. There were helicopters hovering over her house for days. And she was showing me videos of this stuff happening, not stuff the news wasn't showing. Gunshots, tanks rolling down the street in front of her apartment, that kind of stuff. And that song is sort of about that. I was angry at it. I was like, what the hell is wrong with you people? And so the song is, so I made the drum part be more or less like a sort of a tribal war drums type feel. And I started to sing the thing, and I decided to go with completely layered vocals all the way through it, because I said no, because that more reflects what's going on. Is there's groups of people that have these opinions that are saying these things, and there's no single voice going on. And I went, so I'm going to do the whole thing as if it were many people, or it built up. So like when you see the lines, there's like 1 guy, then 2 guys, then 3 guys, then 4 guys, and then the chorus is a ton of people spread wide. It's awesome. It's got kind of almost an evil bohemian rhapsody thing going on.
I love it, man. I love it. Yeah, that's the track we premiered today. Killer song. In addition to the songwriting and the lyrics, and I imagine that a lot of this stuff is around the virus and the election and the pandemic and all these. It's just such a tough time in the world. Maybe that's why it's hitting me a certain way now. We're not that far removed from last year. Really, we've come a little bit away, but we're still in it. I feel like we're not really out of it. It's good to talk about. It's good to hear songs about it. I know people are fatigued in general from everything, but we can't ignore that this is a part of our history now. It's a part of the lives.
I left it open to interpretation to make sure that it possibly could stand for other things in the future too. I didn't point out anything directly on purpose.
Yep, I got that. And then there's a lot of fun musical stuff on here, man. Guitar work. There's a really cool.
I gotta stop. There's no guitar. Not a single. I get this all the time.
Oh, really?
I get reviews that said great guitar sound, and I'm like, what?
Oh, is it?
There's no guitar. That's one of the things that's been fun about this project, is to minimize the instruments I use. I only use vocals, drums or percussion, and bass.
Yeah, I heard. Okay, so it's bass that sounds like
is a bass.
The bass stuff's great.
There's because people keep saying it.
Oh well, I stand corrected, and that's fine. I'm a bassist myself, so I love hearing I hear all the bass and really cool bass stuff. There was the little bass. Was that Madness for Two? Kind of reminded me of like the bass tone of Chris Squire from Yes, like a very thumpy.
And that makes sense too, because I love Chris.
He's awesome. Like really cool, and it's a little proggy. It's got some proggy stuff to it, which is like maybe not your 1, 2, 3 wheelhouse, but it's definitely also stuff you can do.
It's pretty loose jam. I mean, that was except for the one little part that I used a little fluted organ sound on it from a bass effect. I think it's a B9 by Electro Harmonics. But except for that one little part, the whole thing was just, I just sat down and just played however it came out. And I can tell you how you can tell. That is one take. and it would never be, I'd have to go back and learn it myself. At the end, you can tell that I've kind of ran out of stuff because he's still going. I'm like wondering when he's going to end. I'm like, is he about to end? He's about to end. And you can hear me just, at some point, I finally just start kind of going up and then down and up. And I go, where is it? Where is it? And then he goes, no, I'm good at catching the stops of people. So I was just waiting for it. At the end, you can tell I'm just waiting. I'm going, where is it? Come on. Thanks. I'm glad we stopped there because I had ran out of stuff.
That's like some Lemmy magic also right there. Lemmy was good at that kind of thing. It's like, hey, this is running on a little long. We're just gonna do whatever.
I've done a lot of songs like that were kind of on the spot, and I really enjoyed. That's kind of how this album, a lot of it was made like that. I would get the drums down, and then either I'd do it with the guy, with the drummer, but then I'd take it, that would become a scratch track. It may still be in there, it may not. But it was a lot of fun to sit down with the thing playing and with no pre-rehearsal at all with a band or anything, and just come up with stuff off the cuff. And most of the time when you just play along, it may end up being 3 different parts or something. Sometimes I harmonize, I come back and layer. There's a lot of basses too. Shadow in the Well, that bass sound, that is 8 layered basses. That's not just one bass. But
there's a lot of really cool stuff. I think that's why it sounds like a guitar, because there's like effects and there's like some distortion.
To be fair,
there's definite riffs. It's not just like a self-indulgent, I'm soloing everywhere. We're not Primus here. And which, I love Primus, but like, it is a certain thing that doesn't work for every other band that tried to be Primus after Primus. And it's killer, and there's a lot of cool stuff that I think that's why people are fooled in a way. It's like a good trickery.
Yeah, it's sort of a middle of, because my idea of Direwolf was to have when I told the first drummer, Eric, I said, here's how I'm seeing it. I'm saying this is going to be about the songs themselves, not so much performance. So I said, I want to keep the drums super simple, because I want, in case it got a little bigger, I said, I want anybody to be able to play it, really. And so I want to keep it simple, and I don't want it to be about us playing. I want it to be about the song itself. Some of them won't even have leads. I just want to do the song. And I told him, I said, so the way I see this is there's drums, there's vocals, in the middle, there's this tunnel of noise. There's this tunnel, and it's just this one kind of noise. And I said, I'll find that out with my bass. So it took me about 2 years to come up with the sounds I really wanted to use. And even now, it still takes me a while to set it up exactly like I wanted with the right mics and everything. But I can pull it off live. I go live with 2 to 4 amps, depends on where I'm playing. They're all set a little different than each other. And I can, and I'm using loopers, so I'm able to record a rhythm and then play over it this is all happening while I'm singing. So it's a lot of fun to do. It's a lot of fun because you do have to do a lot of experimenting and setup to make each song become live, because it is varied. It's just. But anyway, the first Direwolf album, like you said, this is much different. The first Direwolf album was self-titled. Another thing I'd like to correct people. They keep starting me out with Clef Doom, and I go, no, that was a demo. I don't know how that started. That was a demo album that I practically didn't even want to be out there. I made 100 copies and basically handed it out. I think I put it up for sale when there were about 10 left, and that's it. And what that was a demo of, it just says Tommy Stewart, not Tommy Stewart's Direwolf. I learned something. If you put out Tommy Stewart, there's 100 Tommy Stewarts. So that was my first lesson to, will this work? And then, so this was just me seeing, it was sound. Some of the tracks were literally just me noodling and sounds and just seeing what people would respond, how people would respond to each of the things on there, whether I should go forward with this. So so I went forward with the Direwolf thing because you know what was out right about then? Game of Thrones. And I was watching out of it.
There it is. I got a House Stark patch on my vest, man. I'm a big Game of Thrones guy. I don't think we're ever gonna get this last book from George. I don't know. It's kind of
I know.
It's taking forever. And he doesn't seem to care.
They were
I'm working on it, sort of.
Oh God. So the Stark family, each of the kids gets a Direwolf. And I said, okay, this is my pet project. So I'm going to call this Tommy Stewart's Direwolf.
I love it.
And that's how
there's actually a whole mythology or whatever, a lore to the wolves in the books that's much deeper than the show.
Oh no, really? I'm into the first book right now, which is basically the first season.
Yeah.
And that's
first couple of books are like cover the first few seasons, and then it's like they did whatever because they just didn't have a choice. I know people are mad about the end of the show, but like they absolutely did not have a choice. Like there was no book coming for them to base it on the way TV production is, and it was such a big hit. These guys, you know, I think they, considering everything, I think they did okay.
My three favorite characters that I rooted for through the whole thing were the three that sort of had the big ending and whatever. Tyrion went away, Arya floated off, and Daenerys was, you know, she did her thing, and I was like, hell yeah, get him, Danny.
Yeah, it worked for a minute.
So all my heroes did well at the end of it.
There you go. I'm like the smart, overachieving guy, so I like Tyrion a lot and Bronn. Anyway. Yeah. But yeah, man, it's just such a cool album and such a good, everything down to the artwork and everything is like really your signature kind of style on it. It's great that you built this kind of great visual thing. We were talking about the green earlier, and the green.
I tried to be kind of bluish on the first album, and it didn't, and it was fun, but it didn't really have the, well, what happened is Mont Doom did the art, and I saw him do was sort of nature bound, and I was like, okay, that's kind of fitting in with some of my themes and whatever. So my 4 videos are also covered in green. My 4 videos, Shadow in the Well is earth. It just goes down there in 2 Trog Yomp. If you watch it, it has a lot of fire in it. Then we have the one coming up that's going to be air, and another one later that's going to be water. So all elements are covered. But yeah, everything on the album's green. The 2 variants are both different shades of green. It with smoke and this and that and other thing in them. So everything's green. I love it. We'll go play live and see who all's got green lights around the country. I'll be walking in every single place going, you got green lights? And they'll say no. And I'll say, well, don't turn any on. No.
There you go. We have Nan Lights, which is a great brand that we use. And you see them in a lot of my videos, my interviews, and my news show. And we love these things. They're like flawless and perfect.
Yeah, we've been looking for a couple lights to just bring ourselves that would, so we can have our own green there.
I'll send you a link.
Down, but we did black light. We did big black lights that just stayed on when we played for the first time we went around, but they're more or less bluish and turn everything pink and blue. That's so true. We're leaving those at home this time, looking for green ones.
Plus, you can't get rid of the DNA evidence with the black light. You know what I'm saying? Like what you ate for lunch, what's in your beard, or and
yeah, that's true. Yeah, we would have photos, and we were really like trash on a lot of them because there were things in there, just stuff.
Speckles.
Speckles.
But yeah, man, just a lot of fun. I'm super excited to hear that you're going to get back out on the road. You know, I wonder if, you know, like beside the label and you have a bunch of releases coming up, what else you have going on? You're always working on stuff. I know Metal Blade put out kind of a Hallows Eve release not too long ago, like a retrospective. And so, you know, there's a lot of cool Tommy related things coming up that you're always, you know, hustling on.
Yeah, there's more Metal Blade I've been working on with them for later, but I don't know to what extent I'm supposed to be saying anything.
Don't say a thing.
We're working on it for a long time. I think we're done working on it.
Okay, great. I hope so. I was always a fan. I was a fan in high school of Hallows Eve. So, you know, in general, Georgia, man, I kind of wanted to kind of close things up by talking about Atlanta, and Georgia in general has always had such a great music scene across genres, right? And it's fun that you have kind of traversed these different things at the same time. Like Mastodon is one of the biggest bands, and they've gone full out prog rock. And Royal Thunder started out as kind of like a doom band, and now they're also kind of like a.
I know all of those guys.
Yeah, no, I know, and even
I had like, Melody in to do a vocal track for to do a thing with Doomstress covering one of Royal Thunder songs. Now, I don't know what happened to it, but I recorded the track. So I'm sitting here at the studio. She sat back there and she said, okay, here we come. Here's for the take. And she started singing in here, and I sat here and I was like, it was one of those moments where you didn't turn around, you stayed professional, but I was going, holy crap, I've got Robert Plant back there and nobody knows it. I've got, you know, I knew that I was hearing a miracle, like magical vocal track. It was all I could do to sit here and just be the engineer because it was so good. I just had to throw that in that she is really something else. One of the best years I've ever recorded.
I hope we get to hear that. And I'm also quite a fan of the, if you want to go back like 15 years, the Savannah scene, which you're not that far from, which was like Baroness originally and Kylisa and Black Tusk and a bunch of other bands that are still kicking around.
Black Tusk is running around, I think.
I love those. I love those. So good. You know, my heart goes out to them. They've been through a lot, and they're still making kick. That last record was so great. And I miss Kylisa quite a bit. I understand that Laura's coming out with a solo record soon, so that's cool. But yeah, man, just putting a spotlight on a fun part of the country. A lot of people, you know, they should not overlook because it's a great music scene. And again,
there are a lot of bands down here of all different kinds, and but there's a lot of, I've been unearthing a lot of doom bands that are sort of embryonic, and I'm going, okay, they're around, they're just not as big as they need to be. So I'm booking some shows right now in January. I'll have Brave Next Door down here. So we're trying to stay in the South for the winter months. So I'm trying to book shows down here, and there's some shows I'm booking around there, and I'm in the Carolinas. I'm uncovering a lot of bands I didn't know about that have 1,000 followers, 800 followers on Facebook and whatever. And they're kind of on the edge of like, they just need to be out. And almost all of them say they formed recently. They just didn't bother to play with anybody during the worst part of the COVID times. And I was like, I think there really is a doom thing down in the Southeast. It's just not popped. It's not organized enough. And that's exactly what I'm trying to do to it, is give it a home. So with the Black Doomba stuff, which keeps me busy. Too busy.
That's awesome.
But I enjoy it.
Yeah, man, that's really, you're doing a service, really, and we appreciate you shining that spotlight on this genre and yourself and doing your own music and bringing it out to the people. That's what matters. And yeah, man, really congratulations on Doomsday Deferred coming out this week. And
I'm so glad
at
you
the time
like
of
it.
this recording. And thanks for hanging out with Ghost Code.
Response on it. And I was, you know, it's different. It's a little bit, it's not everybody's cup of tea. And when you make something that's, you know, it's your opinion, you're not pleasing everybody, you're going to find your true fans and you're going to turn a lot of people away. So I was really crossing my fingers when I put this thing out, and I was going, please don't everybody hate this. Please don't everybody hate this. But I meant what every sound that's on it, I meant for it to be there. This was not an accident that it sounds like that. This was me expressing myself just like any painter with a canvas, meant to put that red there, meant to put the blue there. You know, I'm expressing myself. I hope other people find an association with it.
We will start calling Tommy Stewart the Van Gogh of doom metal.
You're not gonna believe what I'm trying to pull together for merch on the road. I probably won't have anything until later. I'm working on it right now. I'm teaching myself. And it's on my table right now. I'm learning how to do paintings on records, like by hand, like acrylic paintings. So I thought something would be fun would be to, based on the art of the new album, to use the album and personally do paintings on it, you know, and sign it like anybody does their work. And maybe people might want a piece of the actual creation process. I don't know. It's just an idea I had. I would probably, I mean, just think if you went to a Cannibal Corpse show and there was a Cannibal Corpse record, and George Fisher painted it. It's a painting. That would be something people might want.
There you go.
That's
ahead of the game.
I'd like a Lemmy painting.
Ditto.
Like
Tommy, thanks. Yeah. Thanks for hanging out, man. I really appreciate it. And again, congratulations on everything, and keep hitting us up, and we'll keep sharing the stories, and you know, we'll see you out on the road, I hope.
Yeah, man. You will somehow.
All right.